Good morning. You are live with TSTRADIO. I am your host, Marcus Johnson. We're going to get started with some high school football today. Henry Ruggs was nominated as the Fever's Star Player of the Week. So you need to go and WSFA.com and vote for him if you would like to see him as the Star Player of the Week, Fever Star Player of the Week. The week the high school Power 25 have came out. I'm going to give you a rundown of a couple local teams around the area that you might be interested in. Coming in at number 1 is McGill Tulane. At number 2 is Hoover. At number 3 is Hewitt Trussellville. At number 4 you have your Opelika Bulldogs. At number 5 you have Blunt. At number 8 you have Spain Park. At number 9 you have Lee. At number 10, you have Central Phoenix City. Those are some in the top 10 that are around this area that you might be interested in. A couple more that didn't make the top 10 is Enterprise came in at number 20. Park Crossing came in at 21. And Benjamin Russell came in at 25. So that's your Power top 25 for the high school, the latest from the high school. Another story I wanted to get into was I saw that was released on yesterday that former Stanhope head coach Jeff Foshield allegedly offered a teacher cash and sex to keep a player eligible and avoid summer school. This is something that's been going on with teachers and within our school systems lately. I really think we need to clean that up. I don't think it's right to cheat with grades. I think every student should earn their grades equally. It continued to say that Foshi offered the former special ed teacher Abby Butler $500 to change grades. Abby Butler took final exams from an unnamed student, took final exams, the English portion and the science portion of his exams, and also helping throughout the school year. So that is something that I feel like needs to be really, really cleaned up. I'm happy that this is being brought forth to everyone's attention. I feel like everyone needs to see this because of Foshi's no longer with the Stanhope Elmore High School staff. The AHSAA will only place the school under a 1-year probation, and they will not be barred from the postseason. So that's good that their athletic program didn't get fully disciplinary by that, since he's not affiliated with the school anymore. So I'm glad that that's been cleaned up. I'm glad that's been brought to everyone's attention and not swept under the rug, because like I said, that's something that really needs to be cleaned up in our area. Like I said, I've been seeing that in the news a lot lately, dealing with high schools and colleges. To move on, we have some weekly honors. SIAC released their weekly honors player of the week. Former quarterback at Wetumpka High, Kevin Lacey, was honored with player of the week with the SIAC award. Former Jeff Davis punter Ty Woods was also honored with the award. So big ups to those guys. Keep giving up the hard work, keep putting in the hard work, and I'm pretty sure it's going to pay off for you. I'm glad to see young kids still out working hard, trying to make something of themselves. So great job, guys. I hope that your season continues to be great. We're going to move on to some college football. LSU, Les Miles is yet to name a starting quarterback, but all signs are pointing to backup Danny Eason going into the game versus Mississippi State. So look like Brandon Harris' campaign is over at LSU. I think it's a good thing for the program because I didn't see them moving forward making any progress with Brandon Harris and LSU philosophy as a coach. They didn't mix well, so this is a good move for the program. Another big story that came across my attention was some 4 players at Minnesota are being investigated for a sexual assault. A 22-year-old girl came forward saying the morning of September the 2nd, which was hours after Minnesota's team has beat Oregon State in the season opener, saying that some guys had sexually assaulted her. The investigation is still going on with that. All 4 players were suspended. It was Tamarion Johnson, Dior Johnson, Ray Burford, and Keontae Harden. So those 4 players were suspended from the team as of yesterday. So they're doing an investigation on that. That's another subject that I hate to hear about that's been going on a lot in our colleges lately. I'm glad that needs to be cleaned up also. So I'm glad that investigation is coming forth, that authorities are taking it serious and investigating these players. So I hope that gets cut down a lot too. So to move on, some big matchups this weekend. We're gonna have Alabama versus Ole Miss. Alabama is trying to snap a 2-year losing streak to Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat them on last year, 43-37. Alabama is traveling to Oxford this year to try to break the snap that I feel like the game will come down to which 2 tight ends will have big games. Their tight ends will have to make big plays. Alabama has a big playmaker in O.J. Howard, who's coming off the biggest performance of his career on last year versus Clemson in a championship game. Howard's career stats they're impressive, but on the other side of the ball, you have Ole Miss, and they have Ingram as a star tight end. Howard's stats hasn't really matched up with Ingram's, even though Ingram has played less games than Howard. Howard's career stats with 44 games, he has 74 catches, 1,374 yards for 4 touchdowns. On the other hand, Ingram has played 36 games, 108 catches, with 1,558 yards with 8 touchdowns. So that's going to be a big matchup to see which tight end on which team will come out and be big for the team. So that's a matchup to watch. That's a matchup that I'm going to watch. I think that's going to be the outcome of the game. Ole Miss feels like that if they get to Jalen Hurts, the freshman quarterback for Alabama, they get to him and hit him a little and get him rattled. They feel like they can contain him and throw him out of his game. So we'll have to see if that line will be able to protect Jalen Hurts as they done against Western Kentucky with Alfonso Taylor back in the lineup, as I said last show. So that'll be a very intriguing game to watch. I'm gonna be tuned in. To move on to another big game this weekend, we have Auburn going up against Texas A&M. After losing a close one to Clemson in the opener and blowing out Arkansas State, Auburn comes into this game as a 4-point favorite over Texas A&M. Auburn will need good play from their offensive line. This week, Texas A&M has one of the best defensive ends in the country in Myles Garrett. So the offensive line will have a big test. They will have to contain Myles Garrett from getting to Deshaun White. That will be a big play, a big factor in that game if they can block Myles Garrett. Texas A&M also has some big play receivers, and Ricky Sales Jones and Christian Kirk. Those are 2 big playmakers. Auburn's defense will be tested. They coming off a great 2 outings in the first 2 games. So their secondary will be tested. Their linebackers will be tested this game. So we will see how Auburn responds to an SEC offense and defense to see if their defense can keep up with their good play They also will be going into next week to play LSU. So their defense will be tested back-to-back games. So let's see. This, like I said, Auburn didn't show me anything. I couldn't grade them against Arkansas State, but this game will show me if Auburn has what it takes. So to move on, another game in the Big Ten will be Ohio State and Oklahoma. That's another game I want to watch. Oklahoma comes into this game as a favorite. They have a 54.3% chance of winning. Both teams have had good quarterback play. Ohio State's J.T. Barrett has went 35 for 53, 498 yards, 6 touchdowns, only 1 interception this year. On the other side, Baker Mayfield is 38 for 53, 567 yards, and 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. So that will be a good matchup at the quarterbacks who will win that battle. The running game for both teams have been okay, with Weber for Ohio State with 36 carries, 228 yards, 1 touchdown. Oklahoma's Mixon with 20 carries, 157 yards with 1 touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, Ohio State has only given up 214.5 yards. Oklahoma's defense has given up 380. So Ohio State's defense has the edge there. We'll have to see. That will be a good game. We'll have to see that outcome. Ohio State has only lost 1 of his last 5 games, and that was to Michigan State last season. Oklahoma is coming in, lost 2 of his 5 games when they lost in the playoffs on last year to Clemson, and then the opener this year to a great team in the Houston Cougars. So we'll see how that game will go. Like I said, Ohio State is coming in. Ohio State is coming in undefeated. Oklahoma is coming in, has lost 1 game to the Houston Cougars. So we'll see how that will go. Another story that I hit on last week was Deshaun Watson. I reported to me he didn't look the same quarterback as last year. On yesterday, he came out and made a statement saying that the media obligations is really taking a toll on his body. It's really wearing him out, and his body language, he feel like it's reflecting on his team. Like I said, I think it's too much pressure on the guy. I think it's that people are saying that he's not a pocket passer. He's trying to prove that he's a pocket passer. If you would think that is what killed RG3 and now playing a factor on Kaepernick's career. But Russell Wilson made a career with being both. So I feel like Deshaun Watson need to quit focusing on what everybody else says and go out and play his game. And because he's a great playmaker, I believe in his playmaking ability, even though I'm not a Clemson fan, but he's a great athlete. I feel like he needs to quit thinking and just go out and play his game. And don't worry about what the media says. Before we're going to get into some NFL football. We had some great games last night. Monday Night Football, Steelers went against the Redskins. They pulled that out 38-16. Rams and the 49ers. 49ers won that 28-0. Ben Roethlisberger came out, had a great game. He threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. D'Angelo Williams came out, 26 carries for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Antonio Brown, 8 receptions, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Steelers pretty much dominated the game on the offense side of the ball. Antonio Brown got me with his little celebration, a little twerk celebration, but I'm not too fond of that. But yeah, I think he deserved that flag for that little weird dance. But yeah, it was some great games last night. But make sure that you come out tonight to Lagoon Park. I will be there covering the Fall League Slow Pitch Softball, so come out and support them. We'll kick off at 6:20, so come out and support them. That is my time for the day. I am Marcus Johnson, TSTRADIO. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at True Sports Talk. Like our Facebook page at True Sports Talk Radio. That's my time for the day. Again, I am Marcus Johnson. This is TSTRADIO. Thank you for tuning in.